It's been only a week since the big Last Epoch update, patch 0.7.3, and already the next patch is out with more changes. Hey everyone, this is Thyworm, and today I want to deep dive into the patch notes and discuss them. I'm picking out some highlights for you and show some footage, so let's have a look. Also subscribe to the channel for more Last Epoch news and build guides. Starting at the top with skill changes. There is a new transform tag for skills where you transform into something else, like a Reaper. Black Hole got buffed with reduced cooldowns and 17% damage boost. Bone Golems are rebalanced, doing more melee damage, but they attack slower than before. Forged Strike has had significant surgery with strength and attunement affecting the skill damage output much more than before. Forged Weapons now also inherit your weapon's attack rate. They have a set expiration timer rather than decaying health. They gain health per character level and draw less aggro than before. Manifest Armor had similar changes done, also inheriting the actual values from stats on your own armor. I haven't played a Forged Guard yet, so I'm not going to comment on these changes. I did play a Reaper, however, because I really like Liches and Necromancers, and the Reaper form got a significant overhaul, which also meant you got all your skill points refunded, so you can try these changes out immediately. So watch me take this girl for a test ride while I explain the changes. And if you want to know how to build this particular Lich, the link is in the card to my Necrotic Lich build guide. There are a lot of interesting changes here. For example, a node that grants Mark for Death on hit. It's only 15% if you spec into it fully, but also other skills offer Mark for Death. For example, when minions die and there is one in your passive tree as well. All of those combined could remove the need for Mark for Death on some builds. Definitely not on my build though. I mean, I need this stuff up front, not on hit. There is a node that provides Blood Tether, kinda nice. There is one that makes you more tanky and offer poison and necro protection. I can see this being especially useful in a poison lich build, which just so happens to be a build I'm trying out currently. And then there is a bunch of skills that have had their Reap requirement removed. Reap is the skill specific to the Reaper, the fast moving forward slicing move you see me make all the time. I only really use it for movement speed, not for actual damage. And the devs realized that too, so all the nodes that used to be only applicable to Reap now have a much more generic purpose. I didn't take any of those nodes before, and now at least you could consider it, because they provide damage in general, not just damage related to Reap. However, some of the best nodes are still Death Touch Scythe, because it gives base damage, which is really good, and then I'm taking mostly nodes that haven't been changed, ironically. Nodes that provide crit chance, crit damage, and general damage output. Taking a look at some of the nodes that did change though, we got a buffed Dark Harvest. We have Death's Door, granting more damage at low health, but I still don't think it's worth it, because with my amount of leech I'm not often at low health. Harbinger of Blood increases leech, which is great. Much more interesting to me, however, are the poison nodes that got changed. Herald of Rot grants poison chance, and Venomous Coating grants poison duration. The patch notes also mention that Stable Disturbance now grants 10% increased damage over time. I couldn't find that node anywhere, but I think they meant Mistress of Decay, which now does that. This combined with Aura of Decay and the Harvest Poison spec is going to be the base for my poison build, I think. Other changes include an added fire tag to Sacrifice's Altar of Flame. Shatter Strike has had some rebalancing that was big enough to provide a free respec to players, which is nice. Sigils of Hope received a small buff and some quality of life tooltip changes. Static Orb was rebalanced as well. Storm Totem damage is buffed by 43%. The Summon Skeleton Impatience node received a buff, and you can allocate one more point into it. Thorn Totem received a buff as well, damage plus 25%. Veil Spirits now deal physical damage instead of lightning damage, and they received some balancing as well. And Warpath got some tooltip quality of life changes, with the mana cost displaying on the main tooltip. On to passives, which really only has one change for the Necromancer. The Effigies node no longer gives you a chance to sacrifice your minions and heal to full health instead of taking lethal damage. It now gives you a chance when you take a hit on low life to consume one of your minions, stealing its current health for yourself. The main issue with this node still is that it is a chance-based node, which means it may happen or it may not happen, and dying previously or being hit at low health, which is basically the same thing as dying is not a situation I want to leave to chance. It's just too unreliable, so unless you're making an archer build or a fire minion build, I wouldn't take this passive. For me, in order to be worth it, I would want something to guarantee saving my life. Maybe killing off half my army as a drawback, and then that passive would have a 1-minute cooldown or something. That would be a passive that makes sense to me, because it will save your life for sure, and then you're vulnerable afterwards, because half your army is gone and the passive is on cooldown. Just a suggestion. In terms of items, 2 uniques got added to the game. I haven't found them yet, so I can't and won't spoil them. There are additional base types added, and the defensive affix rarity crafting materials are rebalanced, with elemental poison and necrotic defenses dropping more often, while the retaliate when hit ones drop less. Some small changes regarding enemies. The only thing worth mentioning, I suppose, is that Zarek's health got buffed by 20%. There are also some minor UI changes, of course performance improvements, and a whole list of bug fixes. Some notable fixes contain a respec bug that got fixed, no more cheating those skill trees for you guys. The hollow finger unique ring now actually drops as intended, so that's fixed. The hungering souls tree got fixed. It basically was completely broken with nothing affecting the skill, so it's really good it works again. I also noticed they fixed the skeleton rogue's aggro range, which is a shame if you ask me. I love those guys tearing enemies apart 2 screens away, but yeah, apparently that wasn't intended. In that same token, Death Knights now have health bars, which is nice. Those were all the highlights. Thanks for making it to the end, thanks for watching, and last but not least, if you want to support the channel, you can do so by either subscribing or joining the channel for a small €2 fee, which gets you some emotes for the live streams and behind the scenes, more personal footage regarding the channel direction, video making, that sort of thing, and my eternal appreciation, of course. I'd really appreciate it. See you all soon. Bye bye.